Welcome back. In this module, we will begin with Python fundamentals, the programming fundamentals. So basically, one question I want to ask that if you learn any other language, whether it is English, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Japanese, French, from where do you start? Yes, we start from the alphabets of those language, right? So this is also a language. Of course, it is a programming language, but this is also a language. So it also must be having its own set of alphabets. So here we are going to begin with the alphabets of Python. And here we do not say it as an alphabet. Here we term it as tokens. So basically, what are tokens? Anything that you write in your program, any is smallest unit, each smallest unit that you write in your program will be termed as tokens, right? So basically, when we talk about tokens, we have 6 categories of tokens, that is variables, constants, identifiers, keywords, operators, and data type. So we will be discussing about each one of them. The first one is variable. What is a variable? Variable is simply a value that can be changed or changes itself. If we talk about the real life example, let us take the value of age, time. It keeps on changing with respect to time. If we talk about salary, salary can be changed by the head of the organization or the HR department. So basically, variable is simply a value that can be changed or changes itself. Now when we talk about in terms of programming, in terms of any programming language, then what is a variable? Here we define variable is a space in memory where we can store some values, right? Variable is a space in memory where we can store some values, and those values can be changed during the execution of the program. This is what a variable is, right? Now next comes constant. What is a constant? Just opposite to variable is a constant. Just opposite to variable is a constant. That is, the value of a constant can neither be changed nor changes itself. Neither it changes itself nor we can change forcefully. This is what a constant is. If we talk about some real world example, see the universal constant capital G, that is gravitational constant. The value of the gravitational constant is same when I was in the learning phase and today also when you are in the learning phase. The value of pi, that is 22 upon 7. It is also a universal constant. The value of a small g, gravitational acceleration, whose value is 9.8 meter per second square. This is also a constant. So a constant is a value that can neither be changed nor changes itself. Now next one is identifier. So let us understand this with an example. Suppose if I write a value 3.14. Now what value it is? Can you just guess it out what the value it is? 90% of the people, 90% of the students will guess it as this is a value of a pi. Normally I have faced this only. Normally I get the answer that this is the value of a pi. But have I mentioned here that this is a value of a pi? No, I have simply written a value 3.14. So here it is only a numeric value, only a real number, right? Now if I write pi equals to 3.14, then here the value is of pi. And in other moment, if I write salary equals to 3.14 lakhs, the value remains the same, but here the value it is of salary, right? So in this case, the value is of pi, which is a constant, and in this case it is a value of salary, which is a variable. Means we are able to identify whether it is a variable or a constant by the name given to it, correct? So the name that we assign to a value by which we are able to identify whether it is a variable or a constant, that name is termed as identifier, right? So what is an identifier? It is simply a name given to a value by which we can identify whether it is a variable or a constant. This is what an identifier is. Now next is keywords. To better understand, let us take an example of real world. Every person has its own set of vocabulary, has its own word bank. Means there are collection of words whose meaning is known to that person. Whenever that person comes across those words whose meaning is known to him or her, he is very much easy to do the task according to those words, right? The same is the case with keywords. Here, keywords are the preserved words whose meaning is predefined to the Python interpreter. Now, whenever Python interpreter comes across those words, it follows the appropriate task. This is what a keyword is. For example, if, else, while, for, none, and many more are there, right? So basically, what are the keywords? Keywords are the preserved word whose meaning is predefined to the interpreter of Python, right? Now this is the end of this video. In the next video, we will be learning about the fifth token operators. Till then, take care. Goodbye.